You're watching the 2020 SCAC Spring Media Days. Today we're taking a look at the Schreiner University men's and women's tennis programs. Men coming off a 6-12 season a year ago, the women 9-10 on the year. Schreiner will be led as they head into the season under the guidance of head coach Jacob Carrillo, along with senior Matthew Jimenez on the men's side and sophomore Jennifer Garcia on the women's side. Coach, Matthew, Jennifer, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, we'll get started with you. You're new to Schreiner, but familiar with the SCAC, having spent time in the last 3 years at Trinity. Just take me through the transition as you take over your inaugural year as the head coach there at Schreiner. What have you learned about your teams as you've prepared for a new season?
Definitely, I feel like it's actually been an easy transition over to being at Schreiner from Trinity. I feel like it's kind of getting to know the kids at first, and then it was building off of that, and I felt like most of them had an established game already, so it was pretty easy to go off that, and now we're just fine-tuning the small things.
Matthew, for you entering your senior season, take me into your mindset. Is there a sense of urgency for you heading into this last semester? How have you kind of embraced being one of the senior leaders on this team, especially with a new head coach there and Coach Carrillo?
So going into my senior season, I had a lot of motivation, and I continue to. And it feels like a very urgent situation to make sure that our team is ready for this season. And I really want us to win, and I know our team wants to win as well. And so going out there every day at practice and trying our hardest and really getting the ball rolling on the things that we're doing wrong and going ahead and fixing them. And with our new coach here, we actually have established a good training regimen for everything, and to just keep the ball going and helping us pursue a winning championship this year.
Jennifer, entering your sophomore season, last year as a freshman, you got a ton of experience at that number one singles spot. What did you learn through the course of your freshman campaign? How does that experience help you going into this sophomore year and provide maybe a little bit more confidence heading into this season?
I gained a lot of experience from all the matches that we played, and it being my first year, I learned how it works and how different it is from high school, and it kind of got me ready for this year, and I'm excited for it.
Coach, you talked about sort of fine-tuning things. What has been your message to your teams as you start to instill your culture and put your fingerprints on these programs? What are a couple of things that you've really been, trying to repeat and harp on with your teams as they get prepared for a new season?
Definitely, I think it's mainly one that we're playing for each other out there, and then two, is staying focused while we're during the match and while at practice. And then the third thing would just be, finding, basically just fine-tuning the point construction part of tennis, and just, being able to capitalize on certain balls and certain, points that we play, or, certain situations that you get in tennis. So, it's definitely just teaching them how to, capitalize and, win the point and be able to stay in the point longer.
Matthew, last year in your junior season, you posted a 2-6 record in singles at the 3, 4, and 5 lines, also a 4-10 record in doubles, mostly at that 2 line. You talk about the highly motivation factor that you have heading into this senior year. What have you worked on through the course of the offseason through fall to continue to improve your tennis game as you get prepared for this year?
So throughout the fall and throughout this upcoming year, I really focused on my mental game, and really focused on building myself up along with my teammates around me. I've noticed as we get into tough situations, we tend to get down, and with just a little bit of more of a positive mindset, it actually helps a lot more than you would think, especially with tennis being so mental. It's something that we are striving to work with and really pursue to strengthen.
Similar for you, Jennifer, a 9-8 record in singles a season ago as a freshman, again at that number one singles line spot. You also earned all conference honors as well, an outstanding freshman campaign. What have you worked on in your game as it continues to develop to sort of grow your confidence and get yourself prepared heading into this year?
I think it was kind of similar to what Matt said. The positivity of the team, it helps a lot in our mentality, and what I worked on was more of my strategy. I learned how to construct points during the match, and that helped a lot also.
Coach, what are the biggest challenges in navigating through an SCAC schedule, and how has, your time, in the SCAC, how will that sort of benefit you heading into this season, knowing what to expect?
Definitely. I think it's we talk about, match toughness. So right now we have certain opponents lined up, such as like Cal Lutheran or Pacific or St. Mary's, which is a Division II school. But I think it's getting them prepared to be at the end of the season where we can, do what we need to do just because we're match tough already, and I'm getting them that experience and that tough experience early on in the season than waiting on, just getting to the conference championship. So my goal is for them is to peak, later on at the end of March, and so that they're ready, for full April.
To wrap things up with both athletes, Matthew and Jennifer, as you've had conversations with your teammates about some of the goals and expectations for this 2020 season, what have those conversations looked like, and what are some of those goals as you head into this 2020 year with Mountaineers tennis programs?
So as a team, on our guys' side, we're really focusing on our mental toughness and staying in the point, going ahead and constructing it, and we're really working on building ourselves together as a whole and becoming as great as we can. And no matter the outcome, still staying positive and loving the sport and enjoying our time out there.
It was kind of similar to Matt as well. We're working on our mental game and point construction and being together as a team and playing, staying by each other's side and working together.
And finally, Coach, to wrap things up with you, this season is successful if what plays out on the court for these two teams. What are you looking for in your inaugural year as head coach of these programs as you kind of build those programs there in Kerrville? What are you looking for from these groups, and how will this be successful for you?
Definitely. I want to kind of piggyback off, their last season. They both made it to the semifinals of the conference championship, and that's my goal in mind, and even to go further in that mindset. And main thing is helping them figure out their tennis game and work on their strengths and just fine tune their weaknesses and being able to capitalize on those things. And so at the end of it, I feel like I always tell them it's the bigger picture is the team, and it's not just your individual self. And so my main thing is just for them to have a great experience this season, and I also want them to strive for that success that they had last year. And so that's definitely in the back of my mind. Yep.
Schreiner University men's and women's tennis programs. Again, the Mountaineers will be led as they head into the season under the guidance of head coach Jacob Carrillo, along with senior Matthew Jimenez and sophomore Jennifer Garcia. Coach, Matthew, Jennifer, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.